politics in this state for a long time.
If you can see him right there.
We can't see him.
Ben, if you can see, there he is.
That's his wife, the former Chief Justice of the Illinois Supreme Court,
Ann Burke,
on his arm.
We heard reporters shouting questions, and stoic as he was, walking away with his wife, probably, I would say, easily fair to say, stunned about what has transpired this afternoon.
I would think on some level you prepare yourself for that. Mike, since you were in the courtroom for those 6 weeks, was there any point when you got to see his face when some of this testimony was made, when some of these videos were played? Was there any point where you thought, oh, this is somebody who feels any kind of remorse? This is somebody who is wondering what's going to happen with the rest of his life? Anything like that that you can paint a picture for us as to his demeanor?
He never portrayed anything like remorse. The most animated he got, he would occasionally crack a smile or even laugh when certain things were brought up, like when it was mentioned by one of his attorneys that that he would give out copies of his book Inside the Wigwam, which is about presidential nominating conventions in Illinois. He would always get a little chuckle about that. Sometimes they would talk about jokes that Ed Burke would tell, and he would smile and laugh about that. There was even a point where they talked about how he still used an America Online, an AOL email address, and his attorney called him a dinosaur, and Ed Burke smiled at that. But for basically the rest of the trial, he sat there stone-faced, not reacting to anything, not reacting to the tuna call, not reacting to the cash register hasn't rung call, not even really reacting to when Danny Solis came face-to-face, sat there with his arms crossed. A lot of times he was taking notes. He's an attorney himself, of course. He would pass notes to his attorneys, but during the trial, really not much emotion. And certainly he didn't talk to reporters throughout this whole 6 or 7 weeks that he's been coming to the Dirksen Federal Building. So we haven't gotten to ask him what he was thinking, but just from what we could tell from his facial expressions at certain points, it was pretty stone-faced, almost a scowl at times. But as I said, there were times where he did crack a smile, or there were some moments of levity, obviously, throughout the 6 weeks.